Good evening, all of my role-playing peeps. This is plus four initiative bonus, or roll for initiative. I'm here to give you an update on our D&D game that we had last night. So it was very interesting, very, very interesting. Milo, he was in a leadership role, but not 100%, I felt as though. But we did have a character almost die. Now, mind you, we were playing Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. We were not playing 5th edition. So, this is what happened. If everyone remembers from the last video update I done on Milo, we had just made it to the stronghold of this barbarian tribe, and they were having a night of revelry and, laughing and drinking and stuff like that before we actually made our inevitable trip up north into the Elundewood, so the evil cursed wood. So we were there, and Milo was actually found their local bard, their barbarian tribe, past stories and things like that. Milo went up talking to this character, and this character was a singing bard. Well, Milo thinks that is the lowest form of being a bard. Telling a proper story, playing an instrument, things like that takes talent. Singing, you can simply do that by reading on the sheet. So, they were talking back and forth, and apparently this bard has a book called the Book of Merrick, or the Diary of Merrick, which is it's about 170, 180 page book. Basically, it's gold bound, got this gold skull on the front of it. Merrick was a wizard. Come to find out, I've made some pretty good rolls on my my knowledge legends. And it's a book, a diary, not a spell book or anything like that, of this wizard named Merrick. Merrick in this world, was a big high adventurer. He adventured a great deal, and he always kept a diary of everything that happened. And this bard was trying to take some of the stories and translate these stories into actual song. And, they exchange back and forth a little bit. And finally, they decide that Milo decided he's going to turn in for the evening. Our elf rogue, actually went to finally reading this mission scroll that he got from the Assassin's Guild. Some information came to light when it comes to that. Basically, he was not accepted into the Assassin's Guild, but they gave him a mission scroll and a small stone and kicked him out. But they didn't officially accept him after he went through training and stuff like that. Well, he finally read the mission scroll. The mission scroll basically told him that the leader of this barbarian group that we were actually at, and his character's name is Chan Shark, was to murder him, to kill him, assassinate him. Well, he tells Fred. Now, Fred has had a lot of dealings with this tribe, and he brings it to the tribal leader. Tribal leader laughs and says he'll keep an eye out for him, but he don't think that they'll attempt anything. Probably sending this guy to get killed. So, the next morning, Milo wakes up bright and early. He walks out, and he's, attempting to go. He's actually headed to the cart to, get their stuff together and head out on their trip. He walks by, and the bard that he spoke to last night, him and several other people were laying around this fire, sleep, drunk, hungover from the night before. The book that this bard had was laying on his face. So, being the sneaky bard that I am, I made my move silently check, moved real silently over to him, and got a 24 on my sleight of hand to be able to whoosh, take it away from him without waking him up. Well, he turns over when I take it over. So the fire's like right there and next to his face. So Milo reaches into his pack. I'm the player that buys people think useless stuff until I find ways to use it, like chalk and soap and stuff like that. I always buy stuff like that. And I bought a bunch of parchment. So I pulled all this parchment out and I stuck it just in the edges of the fire so it looked like the book that was on his face fell off and burn up in the fire. And Milo, I get my hide check. I got pretty good on my hide check in 18, and I hid it in Milo's pack. And I tippy-toe away, go to the cart, and we're loading stuff, and Milo takes his pack off and puts it in the cart. So if anybody says, where's it at? I don't have anything on me. Can't find it. So Milo hastily gets everybody, come on, we gotta go, it's getting late in the day, we gotta go. And gets everybody on the cart. And we had 2 players that actually weren't able to show up. Parker, which was our ranger, he's another halfling, actually requested that I play the character, so I played his character. The cleric, on the other hand, didn't request anybody play, and basically the character wasn't there, but he was there. Does that make sense? So we just decided he had ate something and got sick, got food poisoning, drunk, and something. He ate something that was bad, and it's put the character out for a couple of days. So he was with us, and he was in the cart, and we were going, but he wasn't involved in anything. So we get going. We get probably about an hour or so away from the stronghold that we were leaving, the barbarian tribe. And that's when Milo actually pulls out the book and starts to read it. So we'll just kind of flipping through it, things like that. Well, nothing really bad happens that day. That evening, though, we make camp. And that night, we get attacked by 3 ghast. Ghast are undead creatures. They're more powerful than a ghoul. Their touch and their bite can cause paralysis. So we get attacked by 3 of them. Milo actually winds up tripping one, and Fred winds up splattering it, because in 3.5, what I done was the character was one of the ghasts were crawling on all fours. They had big bellies, and they were crawling on all fours. Milo uses a whip. Grabbed one's arm with his whip and does a trip attack and trips it. Well, it's locked in combat with Fred. Well, it trips it. Under the rules, it provokes attack of opportunity, and Fred smashes the hell out of it and kills it, splatters it. Okay? But we wound up killing 2 of them. The third one wound up actually getting a hold of Fred and biting him and actually causing paralysis. He rolled pretty low on his fortitude save and was frozen, but the other 3 characters wound up easily taking down one ghast. So nothing bad there. Rest of the night, nothing really happens. Milo takes the last watch and actually goes through the book proper. He's got about 4 hours or so, and it's only about 170, 180 pages. So he just goes through the book proper and learns that it has a lot of detail about local areas, things of that nature. So I'm assuming it wasn't told, and the book itself is magical. Unfortunately, I got no way to identify it, so be able to tell me its exact properties on what it's going to do. So I've got to wait till I can do that. But I do know that the book itself is magical. So, Milo reads through the book and realizes that, holy crap, this has got a lot of information about the local areas, different monsters, different, creatures of note, of legend, and things like that. Well, before we get up in the morning, before we decide to actually leave, we decide to pull out the map that Fred got from his dragon mama, which is the birthday present, was the map where we're going up front, going to this temple through this evil wood, cursed wood, if you will. Come to find out, this area that we're going to is referred to as the Broken Shore. Okay? The map that we get, we quickly realize that, wait a minute, this is a map to the Broken Shore before it was broken. This book is like thousands and thousands, this map is thousands and thousands of years old. So between everybody, we appraised this actual map, and it's worth a tremendous amount of gold. Okay? But it is a birthday present for Fred, so Fred, I doubt we're going to be able to sell it, because Milo would sell it in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, I doubt we're going to be able to. But we went up having another map that our ranger, Parker, had. We actually put the two down, and we actually transcribe from the new map to the old map. From our map to the map doesn't have all the information on it that shows that it's broken or anything. It's just showing the shore. So we actually transcribe and kind of fix, like, well, this is where this should be, kind of things like that. So we do it in charcoal. So basically we have a rough outline of, so we can put this map up. We have this map here that has everything now plus everything then. So, yeah. So we get together and we move forward. So we realize that where we're at, we're a day and a half away from the edge of this place. So, from this woods, the cursed woods. Reading through the book, things of that nature, we find some information on the Broken Shore. This story. Now, I'll put it if you're watching this on YouTube, I will post it down in the description below. And if you're watching this on Facebook, go to the YouTube page and check out the information, the story of the the Broken Shore, and the tale of the lover and the deity and the demon and the monster thing. It's pretty cool. I liked it. And, of course, my DM gave this story to me to allow me to, flare it up, if you will, as a bard. And that's what I did. So I told the story. So, we were moving on. We decided that we're going to make permanent base camp about a half a day to this place, to these woods. So we're not going to make a base camp in the woods, just because all these horrific stories we keep hearing. So we move in. We get about half a day, and we start getting into more of a marshy area, things like that. We find a solid area just a little ways from the actual road, because the road is packed, so it's solid. So we make permanent base camp. We set up at least semi-defenses where there's only one way into the camp, one way out. Our rogue went up setting up a couple little booby traps. And Bob, which is our adventuring cook that's with us, the NPC, decided to stay. He's staying there. He's taking care of all the equipment, the cart, the horses, the ponies, stuff like that. And since the cleric was sick, we didn't want to leave him, because we went up taking him with us. Okay, so we went up leaving Bob at the location with the ponies and stuff like that. We gave him some instructions, like always make sure there's a fire going, things like that. So we wait through the night. Nothing attacks us during the night. We get up in the morning, get ready. We're going packing. We're adventure packing. So we got just, basic equipment on. We got our backpack, got our weapons, of course. We got our, crowbars and rope and grappling hooks and trail rations. Because from where we're at to the actual temple is 3 days. So that means we will have to camp in the Death Woods. Okay? So we get our basic gear. If you're a D&D player, you know what that means. You're not bringing, all this stuff. So we decide to go on foot. We leave the horses and things like that because we are going into a marsh. So we head in. Closer we get to this place, the closer people honking the horns. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. Anyway, closer we get to the actual woods, we start getting this sense of dread, of panic, of fear, things like that. It's just like it lingers in the air. Okay? And as soon as we break that cusp from, to the actual marshwood place, the temperature drops like 20 degrees. So it's cold. Come to find out, as we're traveling and things like that, there is brown moss or brown mold, or whatever you want to call it, all over these trees. That's what's causing the actual coldness. Now, if you're a D&D player, you do know what this is. You don't want to touch it. If you touch it, it will deal tons of damage to you and knock you out. It don't do, hurt damage. It deals subdual damage, so it makes you pass out when you touch this stuff. If you catch it on fire, it rapidly multiplies. So, our rogue actually gathered some of this without touching it inside of a little vial and kept it. So he's got a little vial of brown mold that we're keeping. So we're traveling, and as we're traveling, we start to... If you ever get the feeling that people are watching you from behind or from around you, or somebody's watching you? Well, that's the way we were feeling as we were watching. We felt as though we all these eyes on us. Well, as we're going through these woods, we actually periodically will see these yellow eyes look at us through the dark. Fred eventually gets tired of it, and Fred throws a rock at one. It's in a tree, throws a rock at one. He hits it. We hear a growl. Milo shoots an arrow at it. Hits it. Deals some damage. It throws the rock back at Fred and hurts Fred. Like, hurls it. Boom. It was like 4 or 5 points of damage to Fred. So we're all in our defensive states, getting ready to attack this thing. We can't see it. It's in the dark. But mind you, as we're in this place, it's like pitch black darkness. So we're having to use torches and things like that. Well, here's the thing. The rogue says, why don't we try to talk to it? Milo says, it's growling at us. It don't want to talk. Shoot it. So we hail of arrows at it. So this is what happens. Our rogue, who suggested, let's talk to it, decides to shoot it with his crossbow. But he hesitates and then goes to fire. Well, he rolls a 1. And our GM said, well, since you were hesitant to fire, you had your crossbow down. And as you went to bring it up, you accidentally pull the trigger and it goes off. And the arrow goes in your leg. Roll damage for yourself. All right. So it's a crossbow. It does a D10 damage. He rolls and gets an 8. He has point blank shot as a feat. Point blank shot says it gives you +1 to hit and +1 damage if the target is within 30 feet. So he deals 9 damage to himself. He's only got 6 hit points. Or 7 hit points, sorry. So he instantly, -2. So he falls to the ground. Milo and Parker start freaking out. And they're like, oh God, oh God. So they go and they're starting to try to doctor him and things, trying to get him to not die. Fred confronts this thing. He's wanting it to come into the light, and that thing speaks finally in a low, raspy voice. Come to find out, it's a werewolf. So this thing starts talking to us, telling us we need to leave, things of that nature. So me and Parker both fail our heal checks to be able to prevent, our elf rogue from bleeding out. So he goes down, he loses another hit point, goes to -3. But he rolls and stabilizes himself naturally. So thank God. So he's done. We make we already, just to do a little backpedal, we did do a sled, and Fred was actually dragging it, and we had the cleric on the sled. So this thing comes down, and it is talking to us about we need to leave, and Milo actually talks about, well, we're on the hunt for a band of bandits, and talked about the temple. Come to find out, the bandits went into these woods, and a lot of them have been killed by the werewolves, and apparently there's more than one werewolf. There's a clan of them, apparently. And, other creatures in this forest have killed them. So we heard tell there was 10 of them. We have 9 confirmed dead. So there's 1 left that we know of. But that Milo thinks there's more than just 10, because they always wear masks, and there's always 10 that show up that when they do anything. So I'm thinking that there's anywhere between 10 to 20 of these guys. So we converse with this werewolf and kind of talk it down from actually wanting to eat us. And we have no healing capabilities whatsoever. Okay? We got no healing potions, nothing. So we talk to this werewolf and say, is there anything that it can do to help us prevent our guy from dying? And it suggests that, well, they're down a little ways, down the left side of the path, take the left fork in the road, there'll be a little shack. And there's a little woman there by the name of Baba Yaga. To speak to her and tell her that Tenderfoot, which is the name of the actual wolf, sent us, and she'll take care of you. And I said, well, is there any way that we could get proof? I mean, who's this person just to, think, yeah, okay, come on in. So she gives me she says, well, give me a coin. And I give her a gold coin. I was going to give her a silver coin, but, they were like, no, give her a gold coin. So I give her a gold coin, and she bites the gold coin and puts a hole in it. And then grabs Milo's hand and forces it down his ring finger. Makes him like this gold coin ring. And says, show that to her, and she'll help you. Now we're like, okay. So since the halflings only move 20 feet around, we jump on the sled, and Fred's got a 20 strength score, so he drags everybody on this sled to where we need to go. We get there, we knock on the door frantically. This little cripply old, I was thinking it was going to be a hag, and like, oh God, we're going to wind up in a pot full of, we're going to be eat. But come to find out, it was just a cripply little old woman. Milo still thinks it's a hag of some kind. Anyway, he shows her the ring, and she lets him come in, and she heals the rogue so he doesn't die, and makes sure that the cleric isn't going to die of food poisoning. That way the player can come back the next time we play and actually be there, and we'll be fine. And we spoke to this cripply little old woman about what's going on, and she actually had 9 skulls over in the corner, which was these bandits, she said. So, 8. Sorry, it was 8, and then we had the other one was from the werewolf, actually threw a head down to us. So there's 9 that we have confirmed dead. There's just 1 left. So We talked to her about the forest, things like that. Come to find out, she's saying that there's no way to lift the curse from the forest, because if there was a way to lift it, she would have been able to lift it hundreds of years ago. And come to find out, now we had to go down the left fork when we got to the thing to be able to get to this place. Apparently, if we go down the right fork, it leads to basically the den of a black dragon. Okay, so don't want to go down that path. We're still just level 1. And that's where we ended the game. She fed the group and we went to sleep, and that's where we would pick up next game. But Milo really tried really hard to get that level. I really wanted the level last night. But sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. But that's the current update, and that's the current situation that we are in my D&D 3.5 game. So we're going to end it right here. We're sitting at the 25-minute mark. I know this video is a little bit long. But if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. Hit the little dingy button down in the little bell button down in the corner. Just so you know when I do videos, you'll be able to get a notification. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please like this and please share this so other people will come and like my page and I can give my vast knowledge to them. But we're going to leave it there. Next video will probably be a DMing tip of some kind. I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to do yet. But stay with the actual like page, and I will post something probably later tonight about what we'll be doing the tip on. But I'm going to leave you with this. Just know this. I am a DM, but I'm also a player, and I'm here for